It's 2 minutes to the top of the hour. You're just in time for NTV Tonight, and we are looking at how the class of 2020 performed in Kcsc and the issues around that tonight. It's our top focus. Welcome on board. Tonight, Kcsc 2020 results released as Robin Simiyu Wanjara tops the class.
The number of candidates with minimum university entry qualification, which is grade C+ and above, rose to 143,140, representing 19.03%, compared to 125,747, representing 18% in grade 19.
I was feeling overjoyed, and of course I had that disbelief.
Kenya High School posts impressive results to emerge top school.
I want to thank God because He has done it for Kenya High School.
Also tonight, the numbers are rising and teachers have not been spared.
It is sad to note that so far we have lost 37 secondary school teachers, including 24 principals, 3 deputy principals, and 10 classroom teachers.
Concerns continue to grow over the Indian COVID variant amid claims of cover-up in Kisumu. Plus,
if my day comes, I'll accept it.
Raila moves to ease discomfort as ODM party denies allegations of cracks in the leadership. And 22 counties given a heavy rains alert as the weatherman warns of massive flooding.
NTV Tonight with Mark Masai.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top focus, of course, this evening is on the education sector, and Flora Tieno is our sign language interpreter. She'll be doing a lot of numbers today. So grace to you, Flora, but nothing you have not faced before. I'm not also alone because in studio we have Emmanuel Manyasa. He is the executive director of Usawa Agenda, a research and advocacy group for matters education. He'll be breaking down not just the numbers, he's looking especially at the issues facing the education sector moving forward with all the pressures of crunching all the years and exactly the calendar moving forward to make sure that we're able to move ahead with the classes. Now, Robinson Wanjara Simiyu from Murang'a High School in Murang'a County, beg your pardon, is the top candidate in 2020's Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education exams. And his friends, family, and Wanjara, who scored an A with a mean score of 87.334, is a young man with big dreams. Nayoma Sampao has that story.
The neighborhood of a rather usually silent estate in Buruburu was today filled with celebrations. Songs and dances characterized the celebration of the good performance by Robinson Simiyu. Congratulatory messages, most of which came through phone calls, lit up the parents' faces.
Namwambia kwamba nataka mtoto wangu jaribu sana kwa Kenya 1. Nilikuwa namtia moyo sana. Kimwambia kwamba tia bidii. Akaniambia mama niombe, nitajaribu. Na nimeshukuru Mungu kwa sababu wanaamka saa 9 nikiomba na nimeona Mungu amejibu.
Profesa Magoha alipoanza kutangaza na tukaona akataja Murang'a High School, tukajua hapa tukasimama, na alipotaja jina lake tulisahau na chakula, tumesherehekea, tumefurahi mpaka wa sasa hata hatuna njaa, tuko sawa kabisa, tunafurahia Mungu kwa yale amefanya.
Although Simiyu had been posting good grades in school and was hopeful of registering good grades in the final exam, being the top student in the country seemed like a dream.
I expected to perform well, to get an A, but being the best, definitely no. I had been told that I should try my best to become the best candidate, but at times it will feel out of reach, and I was at a point where at times would feel my head has enough. It cannot take in any more of this.
Robinson Simiyu attributes his good performance to the sleepless nights he has had in the 9 months during the COVID-19 pandemic, sheer hard work, and the support he received from fellow students, parents, and teachers in school. Simiyu is now hopeful of joining university to pursue medicine, which has always been his dream. The top students in the 2020 Kcsc results is made up of a rather striking balance among the two genders. 7 girls led by Sharon Chepngeno Terer and 8 boys led by Simiyu Robinson Wanjala make up the list of top 15 candidates. Nayoma Sampao, NTV.
Well, run for it, Wanjala. Run for it, and all the best in your future endeavors. And congratulations to the family as well. Pius, the father there, all proud, and I'm sure he's probably even watching, as he is a focus of the nation. And it is a collective effort. So congratulations to you as well. Education CS Professor George Magoha has congratulated the Kcsc class of 2020 for posting an exemplary performance in an exam that he notes was undertaken under a difficult moment in the globe, where a health pandemic forced them out of school for 7 months. The class of 2020 was also plagued by several other challenges, including teenage pregnancies and the recurrent cases of exam cheating. Leila Mohammed has that report.
The class of 2020 recorded a significant improvement in its performance, according to the just released Kcsc examination results. CS George Magoha states that 893 candidates obtained an overall grade A, with results posting a significant improvement in performance in 19 subjects compared to the previous academic year. Although 751,150 candidates registered to sit the exams, 747,161 candidates managed to actually do the examinations between March and April 2021, a departure from the October date that was the norm.
The number of candidates with minimum university entry qualification, which is grade C plus and above, rose to 143,140. Representing 19.03%.
But even as the candidates celebrated the wins, which was congratulated by President Uhuru Kenyatta when he received the report at State House Nairobi Monday, the thorny issue of cheating is persistently pricking the side of the stakeholders.
In one case, it was alleged that a school principal screenshot questions, disseminated, and even went ahead to post them on her WhatsApp profile. Really unthinkable that one can even put these things on the profile. In yet another case, a senior teacher's cell phone containing screenshots of questions of a paper was recovered as the cell phone was being transported to a candidate who was sitting the examination at a hospital. We have also been notified by NEC of a teacher who posed as an examiner and accessed an examination center.
Just like he did in the KCPE examinations, President Kenyatta asked the Ministry of Education to consider cheating cases on case-by-case basis and not hand down any blanket decisions.
We have cancelled results, very few indeed, from only a total of 287 individuals where we had enough proof.
TSC says that while teachers were implicated in this latest charge, they may need to do more to exempt those who are innocent.
If investigators can examine and conduct a forensic analysis of fingerprints of the people who tamper with examination materials right from when they are released from the containers. To this end, we have resolved to launch a transparent process of biometric enrollment and validation of teachers.
As the class of 2020 celebrates a stellar performance and looks forward to its next level of their academic life, the Ministry of Health is now planning for a full calendar in 2022 where many exams will be held.
We'll have 5 examinations this year. The 2021 KCPE and Kcsc will be held in March 2022. That is the year that in December next year, that will be the year that we shall do the first grade 6 summative examination. As we are aware, His Excellency the President has sworn in a permanent secretary specifically to midwife the competency-based curriculum changes.
The prolonged holiday due to COVID-19 restrictions has contributed largely to the number of girls who have done their examinations while in labor or having just delivered a worrying pattern. Bungoma, Meru, Kcsc, Nakuru and Nandi counties contributed to the 667 number reported in the 2020 Kcsc exam class.
We would want to find out what is happening at that level. And since this is one government, that's why even though he's in the university sector, we are going to work together. I will also get involved there. We must get to the root cause, Dr. Katuru. Why? Who is it that is hoodwinking our children?
In this regard, the CS has urged parents to offer the greatest support to the girl child. He particularly called for greater support and protection for learners who sat the 2020 KCPE examination and are expected to remain at home until July 26, 2021, when they will join Form 1 class. Leila Mohammed, NTV.
Meanwhile, various schools around the country broke into jubilation after posting impressive results in the 2020 KCSE. Muranga High School produced a top student countrywide to earn a spot in the top schools. Gina Kirori reports.
Even the grey clouds couldn't rain on the parade here at Muranga High School as the staff rode the wave of victory in producing the top student in the country's 2020 KCSE examinations. Simiyu Robinson Wanjala was among the many candidates that performed remarkably at the school, including Dennis Washira, who was named as one of the top under-18 performers in the concluded KCSE examinations.
Actually, baba yangu ndio alisikia akapiga kelele, alafu mimi nikakuja kuangalia nini anaangalia. Nikapata nimetajwa na sikuwa nimetarajia kufanya vizuri hivi, hata kama ilikuwa dream yangu kuitwa, na nafurahia leo nimesomwa.
Henry Madaga is the apple of his community's eye. Traders abandoned their wares to celebrate with the top 8th candidate nationally. Henry had the news on a radio playing near his mother's stall. He has now flown his school, Maranda Boys High School's flag high, and hopes to be a neurosurgeon in future.
On my side is a miracle and is a testimony. So what I can say is that all glory goes back to God for what he has done. The good achievement is because of him giving me the hand and him paving the way for me.
Celebrations were also rife in Meru and its neighbor Nyeri. The candidates formed part of the over 800 candidates that scored an A plane. In Nairobi, the joy was uncontainable for the principal of the Kenya High School that scooped the lion's share of the country's best performers.
I want to thank the girls who have believed in us and listened to our advice and worked and believed in themselves that they can do better than even 2019. I also want to thank parents who are very cooperative, because every time we needed them, especially to give support to the girls while at home, they did it.
And with the entrance of one of the top candidates, Esther Mbogwa, glee reigned supreme here. Esther managed to score the 5th highest score nationwide.
I was not sure now how my life would play after now, considering that the pandemic had thrown off the school academic calendar. But my parents were always there for me. They encouraged me. We pray that this gift that she has will serve not only us as a family, but the community, and above all, to serve God.
She also has consoling words for those who didn't manage to score the grades intended to, especially in a time as unsettling as the pandemic.
It is not over, because God has a final say regarding their life. It's just now another opportunity for them to step higher, to take it a notch higher, and outdo themselves and prove to the world that it doesn't matter what you get here. What matters is what you do with your life.
It has been a turbulent year for this year's KCSE candidates, but it is their resilience that has come out swinging, paving the way for them to be a force to reckon with in the future. Gina Kirori, NTV.
It doesn't matter what you get here, it matters what you do with your life. And here's a different and welcome perspective to the results. A look at the best improved candidates, bearing in mind their performance in their final primary school exams, KCPE, in 2016. And top on that list is one Hassan Abdullahi Osman. He was in Wayam Secondary School, where he got a B-. This is despite having just gotten 168 marks out of a possible 500 in KCPE. And Cheruyot Bet Dennis. He's the second most improved student. He got a B- after 190 in KCPE 4 years ago. And Maluti Tom Miti, he got a B- and he had only managed 199 in KCPE. Siomit Charity, she got a C+, and she had 151 there in KCPE, as you can see. And Sempeo Shalvin got a B- and had 168 in KCPE. Kamar Abdullahi Jimale, he was in Habaswain Mixed Day School, and he managed to get B- even though he had 163 in primary. Now, Musharraf Kero Adan in Mandera Secondary School got a C+. He had 140 in the KCPE exams, and Abdullahi Daoud Malim, he had C+ as well. He only had 137. He didn't give up. He did his best and continued and managed to get that particular grade in KCSE. And Ruweida Abdikadir Hassan, he got a B-, and Siololo Parmari Joseph, a B-, despite the marks that you see in the KCP examinations. Just an example that you shouldn't give up and you should not accept to be deterred. And congratulations to all of them who showed great improvement. Now, our Kericho correspondent Winnie Chepkemoi managed to get a hold of the second highest improved candidate, Cheruyot Bet Dennis, who we've just seen his results there. And he managed a B- in KCSE at Kimargis Secondary School. 4 years before that, he only managed to get 190 out of a possible 500 marks in his KCP, but that did not stop him. Here's his reaction to the news.
I was working with teachers, respecting others, and doing strenuous activities where will make me to score this grade. So what I'm encouraging others is that when you have a dismal performance in your primary school, which is KCP, don't lose up. Be opportunistic and then work with others so that you achieve successful and excellent performance.
Well done to Dennis Cheruyot for that performance, showing never give up. Now we can talk to Emmanuel Manyasa. I'm not going to ask him what he got in secondary school. That must have been years back. But now he's in his doctorate level. He's the executive director of Usawa Agenda, a research and advocacy group, and really mindful of the generation that is in school right now, moving forward, moving through the education sector. Now, you've been following the results that were released today. Nonetheless, I'm not sure if you were caught up in the fanfare, because as the CS, Professor Magoa, was releasing the results, he pointed out the great performance, exemplary actually they called it in their particular statement. There were 893 candidates who obtained an overall grade A compared to 627 in 2019. A great performance in your view?
An improvement. We have to acknowledge that fact, that is an improvement because we have seen more numbers in A's. But I have to point us to the fact that we had 700,000 children sitting exams, and we are today maybe talking about the 1,000 that have done very well.
The 147,000
hundreds
who got
of thousands who may have scored really bad marks, and for me that is where we want to focus our energy. How do we make sure that those children do not give up, like their colleagues have just said?
Yeah, but definitely some encouragement, because they were through a pandemic season that had them at home for 7 months at least. So the performance is something to really, acknowledge.
We have to commend them, and I congratulate those who have managed to achieve what they have achieved. I congratulate the teachers especially because I know that it was not easy. Many of them were going through lots of anxiety at family level, at the school level, not knowing when we reopen the school, what will happen when we reopen the school. So there are lots of balls in the air, and they managed to balance all of them, and we congratulate them for that.
Not to dwell on the performance issue, but it is a big deal because there has been a fuss about public schools versus private schools, and private schools saying they are actually being punished to seem as if their students are not doing as well, and public schools being favored. What's your reading of this, your honest reading of this?
I think that is a bad conversation for us to be having, because whether it is based on fact or not, it throws a shade on our examination results.
Yes.
It creates an element of doubt in the reliability of our examinations, and that is something that should not be happening. I saw that with the KCP results. I hope it will not arise with this Kcsc, because we don't really want to be expressing publicly doubt in our examination system.
Right.
But I also want to, in a way, start to challenge us that we have had this conversation for a long time, saying we don't want exams to be do or die. But that is what we say. Everything that we do contradicts that. And since we are in the 4th year of CBC and trying to move fully into CBC, whose
Yes.
main focus was to eliminate this competition for grades, I hope that we can start to act in sync with what we have put down in our policy documents.
Okay.
We cannot continue ranking schools and ranking children, and we cannot continue administering exams as if everyone's life depends on it, and say
yes.
it is not do and die or die.
And that's the next issue that we bring up, because it is seeming do or die in terms of what the mitigation measures they're putting in place. In fact, the CS for Education saying since 2016 they have not had a case of exam leakage, and in fact moving forward they will invoke or implement the use of biometrics to stop or curb cheating.
It's interesting that we want to implement biometrics. I have listened to the CEO TSC talking about creating this biometrics fingerprint system for the teachers, which I think we already have, because I presume all those teachers have national identification cards.
Yes.
And so their fingerprints are with the government already.
Okay.
But that aside, aren't we proposing in CBC that teachers are going to give continuous assessments that will add up to the national examination score? If we are going to say we are guarding the very final exam, but we are depending on these teachers to input, to mark and input marks that contributes to that final score, aren't we contradicting ourselves on that?
All right, and this is something I want to read verbatim from the statement earlier: disruption to the education calendar. The upshot of this accelerated calendar will be that we will have 5 examinations next year. The 2021 KCPE and KCSC will be held in March 2022. In December 2022, we will have will administer the 2022 KCPE and KCSC, and also the Grade 6 summative examination for the Pioneer Competency-Based Curriculum cohort. How will we do this?
I think that the crisis we are going to face has nothing to do with the acceleration of the academic year. The crisis we are going to face is in 2023, and it was always coming whether we had the pandemic or not. The moment we said we are going to domicile junior secondary school in secondary school, that meant that in 2023 we should be ready for a double intake into secondary school.
Especially ensuring 100%.
Especially with the 100%, we should be ready for a double intake in 2023 and a double intake in 2024, meaning at least 2 million Form 1s in 2023 and 2 million Form 1s in 2024.
Surely, Bwana Manyasa, as you conclude, there
the
must be some hope to the situation and the crisis that we're facing.
The hope to the situation that we are facing is that we have time to plan. We have sufficient capacity in terms of expertise to solve this problem. We just need to make sure that we engage our best brains, and we engage every actor, because every actor has an important role to play in this. And particularly, I want to see the private-public partnership that has been touted in many other sectors becoming real in the education sector.
All right. So thank you very much, Manu Manyasa from the USAWA group, the advocacy group for education in Kenya. And we will continue this conversation moving forward. And remember, in case you wanted to know your results, you can also be accessed by sending a candidate's index number followed by the initials Kcsc through a short message service to 20076. I don't know if that's free advertisement, but now we're going into paid advertisement at this moment. We'll be back shortly.
My good man.
Yes, yes.
How is the going?
It's okay, it's okay. The foundation should be done in like a month. With a good cash flow, it's going to take like 8 months.
That is too long.
Simama hapo ndio unahubiria. Now, let me tell you, the congregation is sitting here because the sun always rises from that side. Na ndiposa kondoo wako wasije wakachomwa na jua, mlango ndio ule. And then the choir store their instruments here. And lastly, the Sunday school hall there. Finished!
Fast, stress-free construction. Get your factory-made buildings in 10 weeks with SafBuild. Order yours now. SafBuild, a quality building solution from MRM.
I see innovation and entrepreneurship thriving. I see young Kenyans remaking the world around them, creating lasting solutions to tomorrow's problems today. And I see women just like me at the heart of this revolution. And while others might see symbols and numbers, these girls see the language of the future. My name is Doka Zolino, and I am a co-director at LACAB.
Do your gums hurt? Yeah. Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile?
Oh, that in one toothpaste?
Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums.
Ah, Colgate Herbal.
Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally. Now introducing new Colgate Charcoal Gentle Clean for a naturally fresh and clean mouth.
Along came love. I came to ask you to clean all the glassware in the house.
All of it?
Yes, the last time we used it, it was a little dusty.
Okay, I'll tell Sonia. She's the one in charge of keeping them spotless.
I'm telling you to do it yourself. Oh, and when you're done, could you please organize everything in the linen closet?
Is it not organized?
No, Sonia hasn't had enough time to do it either, and they're clean.
Isn't it absurd for me to have to do all that?
No. I realize that you do whatever you want to do around here. I won't allow you to continue to collect your wages just for dilly-dallying.
Along came love.
To our brand new Gated Community project, Happy Gardens in Kitengela. Pay 800K on any of our projects and get 20K cashback, PAP. Call us now on 0790 300 300.
Welcome back. At least 37 secondary school teachers have succumbed to COVID-19 so far, including 24 head teachers, 3 deputy head teachers, and 10 teachers. The Teacher Service Commission says more than 150,000 teachers have received their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine and continues to urge teachers to turn up for inoculation. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization has warned of a possibility of increased COVID-19 cases due to the vaccine shortage.
The delayed supply of the COVID-19 vaccine from the Serum Institute of India, as well as the variant detected in India, have raised the risk of a new wave in Africa. The World Health Organization says that out of 37 million COVID-19 vaccine doses received in Africa, only 19 million have been administered so far, slowing down efforts to eradicate the virus. In Kenya, 151,494 teachers have been vaccinated so far, with the uptake higher among male teachers at 51.1% compared to female teachers at 48.9%.
So far, we have provided full medical insurance cover for COVID-19 related ailments. Further, through our provider, Minet Kenya, we have now created a medical insurance app for our teachers called Walimu Care app that allows teachers to access telemedicine anytime, even from isolation centers or their homes.
To date, 37 secondary school teachers have lost the battle
to COVID.
The Ministry of Health has accepted our request to open up a vaccination center at Kcsc headquarters, where teachers who visit our offices can receive the jab.
The country remains on high alert following reports of the Indian COVID variant in Kisumu. Sources close to the media have now revealed that at least 10 people have tested positive for the Indian strain after a number of Pakistani technicians who had come to Kisumu to fix a boiler at Kibo's sugar factory. 100 people from the factory have now been put in isolation. Helen Aura, NTV.
It was quite a different picture painted today from the latest COVID-19 update, and it is not such a bad thing given the numbers. This is what I'm talking about, and hopefully these numbers are indicative of the reality. From a sample size of 1,833, there were 66 people who were found to be positive. This is a positivity rate of 3.6%. And we would want that number to remain as single digits. The COVID-19 caseload in Kenya is now 163,620, an impressive 1,737 more patients recovered from COVID-19, totaling 112,298. The death toll from the virus in Kenya unfortunately rose by 12 to 2,907. We wish quick recovery to the over 1,100 patients admitted in various health facilities, the over 4,700 on home-based care, and the 134 in ICU. Let's go to the political side of things before we take a break. ODM leader Raila Odinga is moving to quell growing discomfort in his party, even as talk of a walkout by some top politicians gathers pace. Today, Odinga met Deputy Party Leader Wycliffe Oparanya and Senate Minority Leader James Orengo in what our source has disclosed is efforts to close ranks amid a growing rebellion that has created vicious factions currently aimed at succession politics. NTV senior political affairs reporter Kennedy Mureithi has the details.
Twice, ODM leader Raila Odinga has been forced to make a public statement that he was in charge of the Orange Party as growing rebellion threatens to break his 16-year-old political party. This photo released on his official Twitter page with the accompanying message, "I had a great chat this morning with Governor Mamangilu and Governor Oparanya, together with Senator Orengo James, whom I hosted for brunch. Thanks for dropping by." This being the second time he is meeting Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya at the emergence of a crisis. The last time he met Oparanya was after the Kakamega Governor met Deputy President William Ruto in Taita Taveta. Today's meeting coming at a time Oparanya hosted Orengo and Rarieda MP Otiende Amolo at his Butere home, away from the glare of media. Even Oparanya's media team was asked to take a day off and not document the meeting. However, it is noted the private meeting had heavy political messaging. Today, the three met Odinga at his current home in what some party leaders tell NTV was efforts to mend fences. The last 2 weeks have seen ODM leadership grow restless as they fought over the future of the party in what was triggered by the Building Bridges initiative debate. Orengo and Amolo have been accused of going against the party position and creating a parallel structure. This cost Amolo his position as vice chairperson of the powerful Justice and Legal Affairs Committee.
If my day comes, I'll accept it. If my day comes, I'll accept it. But my conscience, the way I've been brought up, my conscience, I will never sell it. I will never.
Having once been the vice chair of the joint committee, and in accordance with Article 257(10) of the Constitution, I vote yes.
NTV has also reliably learned that there have been talks of a walkout from ODM by some members who have felt they were slowly being edged out by others who are angling for positions and proximity to Odinga ahead of 2022. Oparanya, in a statement today after the meeting with Odinga, noted the meeting should dispel propaganda of rebellion in ODM, adding that those were wishful thinking of their political detractors. After meeting Odinga at his current home, Orengo, Oparanya and Otiende Amolo proceeded to Kajiado County at the home of KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli, where NTV understands they spoke about solidifying their position within the party and trying also to calm them down. Kennedy Muredi, NTV.
Still on politics, the Senate is set to begin looking into the merits of the impeachment charges brought against embattled Wajir Governor Mohammed Abdi this Wednesday, despite a court order gagging the House on the matter, moving ahead with the matter. The 11-member special committee investigating the impeachment says it will take 2 days to hear the matter, after which it will retreat to write its report over the weekend. 28 senators voted in favor of the committee route, with 14 opposing. Zainab Ismail has more details.
The special Senate committee led by Nyamira Senator Okongo Omogeni gets down to work this week as members of the Wajir County Assembly are expected to lay their case on why they want their governor out. The governor will take the stand on Thursday to defend himself against the allegations ranging from abuse of office to financial impropriety.
We expect the governor and the speaker to file their documents before the office of the clerk of the Senate by the close of business, that's 5 p.m. tomorrow, indicating whether they want to appear before us in person or through their advocates or through them personally together with their advocates.
The parties are also required to submit names of not more than 3 witnesses in the case.
We anticipate that this trial should last for a maximum of 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, so that the committee can retreat from Friday, Saturday, all through to Sunday, the 16th, to analyze the evidence that would have been presented before it.
The committee will then table the findings on the 17th of May in plenary. The plenary will debate and vote on whether to uphold or dismiss the impeachment. Among other things, the governor stands accused of failing to account for the financial resources allocated to the county and appropriated by the county assembly by failing to provide quarterly expenditure reports to the county assembly. This comes even as the Meru High Court extended interim orders suspending the impeachment motion against the governor, barring the Senate and its Speaker Ken Lusaka from proceeding with the impeachment motion until the case filed under a certificate of urgency is heard on the 20th of May. Zainab Ismail, NTV.
And on that note, we take a break. We handle business in a couple of minutes.
Introducing Nestle Saragro Growing Up Cereal. Each bowl of Nestle Saragro contains the goodness of cereals and nutrition your child needs to blossom. That's one less thing to worry about. Nestle Saragro. It's all good, Mom.
The Policyholders Compensation Fund, PCF, would like to notify Concord Insurance Company Limited policyholders and beneficiaries that the payment period to lodge their claims has been extended for an additional 30 days. The new deadline is now 14th May 2021. All claimants of Concord Insurance Company Limited are required to download the claims form from PCF website www.pcf.go.ke, IRA website www.ira.go.ke, or pick the form from PCF offices, 2nd floor, ZEP Replace, Longonot Road. Fill the form in duplicate and attach copies of the required documents. Submit to PCF for verification, approval and processing of payment. All payments will be made in line with the fund's guidelines and procedures. PCF, the fund you can trust.
Whoever you choose as a partner along the way, no matter how, listen to your heart. Whose decisions are more important than yours? Never alone on this journey of yours. With you, each step of the way. All the way. Pay as you learn. Pay as you dine. Pay as you see the world. Pay your own way. The way ahead. Union Pay. Your way.
Time for business. The Capital Markets Authority is now asking the Capital Markets Tribunal to strike out an appeal by directors of Imperial Bank and compel them to appear before its ad hoc committee for hearing and enforcement proceedings regarding issuance of the 2 billion shilling corporate bond just 2 months before its collapse in October 2015. The directors of Imperial Bank have challenged demands to have them appear before the ad hoc committee, raising issue with the composition of the committee. The directors of Imperial Bank filed an appeal before the Capital Markets Tribunal following the Supreme Court ruling of December 2020, which paved the way for the CMA to conduct proceedings on the matter. The market regulator argues that details provided regarding the financial position of Imperial Bank in its 2015 bond issuance information memorandum were grossly inaccurate and or omitted material facts regarding the bank's financial circumstances. Treasury now wants the Kenya Revenue Authority to be granted powers to audit taxpayers for up to 7 years back, an increase from the present 5 years. This is one of the proposals contained in the Finance Bill 2021, which seeks to help KRA ramp up tax revenue in the financial year between July 2021 and June 2020. Naima Sampao now gives us some of the highlights on the Finance Bill of 2021.
In the financial year running between July 2021 and June 2022, the government has set an ambitious target of mobilizing 1.78 trillion shillings in ordinary revenue, placing immense pressure on the Kenya Revenue Authority to raise tax revenue. In a bid to help the authority realize the target set, the Finance Bill 2021 proposes a raft of changes, one of which is extending the period for which KRA can audit taxpayers to weed out tax cheats.
So presently, KRA can audit you up to 5 years back. So for example, we are talking about May 2021, which means Revenue Authority could potentially audit you way back until May 2016. Now, the proposal is to enlarge that 5-year period to 7 years. And I have to say here that Revenue Authority, under current law, can still audit you for more than 5 years if there is an element of fraud or if they suspect an element of fraud. So what we're seeing is we're now going back to what was their previous, pre-2015, before the Tax Procedures Act came into place, because the Income Tax Act had a 7-year time limitation. So we are now going back to the 7-year. So that just means that likely we're going to see a lot more audits into the future.
Taxpayers can also expect a breather when accounting for their wear and tear if the proposals in the Finance Bill of 2021 are endorsed by the National Assembly.
So the capital allowances provisions, I think, are a very good addition, in the sense that we now have, the proposal is to have these capital allowances claimed over equal installments. What we currently have is a reducing balance basis, so that, for example, if you've got a vehicle that is valued at 2 million shillings and the wear and tear allowance rate is 25%, you claim that amount on a reducing balance basis. What the proposal says is we shall now claim this over equal installments, which makes life a lot easier for taxpayers.
Persons engaging in the export of services such as the business process outsourcing should expect to be inconvenienced in the next financial year following changes proposed in the Finance Bill of 2021.
Business process outsourcing companies in Kenya will potentially be less competitive because they cannot claim their input VAT by virtue of supplying a VAT-exempt service. So whilst it clarifies the issue around the VAT status of exported services, I think it really makes this country uncompetitive as far as business process outsourcing is concerned.
The Finance Bill of 2021 proposes to widen the definition of the digital marketplace to be any online platform, but to the relief of Kenyans, proposes that the digital services tax be only applicable to non-resident companies. Naima Sampao, NTV.
The East African community is promoting a model which will see centers of excellence established in different countries with the hope of promoting economic activity around their specific areas of expertise. This is one of the ideas aimed at spurring trade and knowledge transfer within the EAC. Alex Mwangi has more.
Kenya's role as an economic powerhouse in the East African community is also becoming manifest in the quest to establish centers of excellence from which other partner states can tap into, even as they also establish their own centers of excellence.
We're going to be a center of excellence in construction, tall buildings going many floors into the sky, a center of excellence in marine and maritime logistics, simply because Kenya is a leader in logistics, trade, and that intermodal connectivity, a center of excellence in the ability for us to build roads, as well as a center of excellence in renewable energy and textiles from seed to fashion.
Is there any likelihood that the EAC will get a new member over the short term?
The last summit 2 months ago, the 40th summit, and a consensus was established to explore the ability for both Congo as well as Somalia to be member states, partner states of the EAC.
The concept of one-stop border posts, or OSBPs, continues to accelerate the pace of trade between Kenya and her neighbors.
On average, around an OSBP, you have around 20,000 people trading every day. And you're looking at Lunga Lunga, you're looking at Holili, you're looking at Busia, whose overall trade has grown threefold over the last 3 years.
Trade volumes within the EAC are on the recovery path, following the massive setback occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic. Nevertheless, the pandemic has also fostered innovation within the community. Alex Mwangi, NTV.
Alex Mwangi's gentle but reassuring voice brings us to the end of Business News. Stay with us.
This looks different.
It is. See for yourself.
Okay, so it's a photo.
Look closer. Photos within photos.
What about video?
8K video. Beyond cinema quality.
So...
you can pull portrait quality photos straight from video.
But will it last the whole trip?
Battery for the whole trip and the way back.
This is different.
Told you.
Get fresh, gotta get fresh.
Downy's new boom boom pow, Downy boom boom pow. Smells bayana uchafuzi na zibita improve Downy. Protect nguo zangu na nukia niko safi. Lazima niwe fresh na Downy's boom boom pow. Boom boom pow, Downy's new boom boom pow. Smells zote na zi boom boom pow. Full freshness, Downy's boom boom pow. Nani 15 bob too?
90 million in 90 days. 250,000 for 2 winners daily. 2 million every week. 5 million every month. And a grand prize of 10 million bob. Play Omoka Raisi today with your 90 bob on the pay bill number 404444. Account Omoka.
Beat sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
In a world of fake news, Kenyans need the truth. When Kenya's foreign debt goes through the roof, when our athletes cover our nation with glory on the global stage, when they steal from Kenyans in a pandemic, when Kenyans cannot breathe due to the high cost of living. You deserve the truth. The Daily Nation brings you the truth. We are bold for you, full of courage for you. We are resilient for you, telling Kenya's stories without fear or favor, because you deserve the truth. Daily Nation, the truth.
Welcome back, and onto a concerning outlook for the weather. At least 20 counties have been put on a flooding watch list as the Kenya Meteorological Department warns of heavy rains in the coming weeks. This raises fears of displacement and loss of property. Already, the Kenya Red Cross is reporting that the rains experienced in the last few days has left destruction and loss behind, and has urged Kenyans to seek higher ground in the tail end of the long rain season. Mamo Ali with the details.
Over the last few days, hundreds of people have been displaced in flooding across the country, with the most affected areas being Tana River, Busia, Kisumu, Garissa, and Marsabit. So far, the Kenya Red Cross says a total of 5,413 households with 3,232 acres of agricultural land having been destroyed. A recent spike in seasonal rainfall in parts of East Africa has caused widespread flooding across large parts of Somalia, Kenya, and Ethiopia, leaving over 1 million people affected. The floods have damaged and destroyed infrastructure, houses, livelihoods, and water resources. As a result, Somalia has declared a national emergency. In Tanzania and Burundi, Lake Tanganyika water levels have been rising since February 2021. Heavy rainfall since the start of April has worsened the situation, with further rainfall predicted until mid-May. As of April 19, 2021, the level of Lake Tanganyika stood at 776.4 meters above sea level, compared to the normal average level of 772.7 meters. Burundi has also declared flooding a national disaster and asked the affected population to evacuate the flooded areas. With rains expected till mid-May and the evolving impacts of floods, humanitarian actors are mobilizing resources to assist the affected people across the region. In Kenya, 22 counties have been put on high alert and at risk of massive flooding as heavy rains are forecast over the next few days. Mamo Ali, NTV.
After that worrying outlook, let's hope for some good news in the sports desk, and that's in a few seconds.
Thank you to the bosses who changed